Hey folks, welcome back to Money and Politics. It's October 25. I hope you had a great weekend. We are starting off the weekend this Monday with some interesting news. The markets have set a record high. The S&P and the Dow hit all-time highs, with the NASDAQ gaining almost 1%. The S&P is at 4,566.48. The Dow 30 is at 35,741. So an historic day this October 25 for the S&P 500 and the Dow 30. The other interesting thing is the Tesla did a deal with Hertz and momentarily today hit a market cap of over $1 trillion. That is amazing. That is amazing. It's for no reason, or for good reason, I should say, that Elon Musk is the wealthiest man in the world. Also, Facebook, third quarter profits beat estimates, but missed on revenues. However, it says Facebook reports $3.22 a share earnings, which the estimates beat estimates of analysts, which predicted $3.19. So they beat by 3 cents a share. And in after hours, Facebook is up, or was last time I checked. It's up $12.36 a share, about $12 a share just moved. So it's up to about $3.40 in after hours. Another favorite of mine, as I've mentioned, INMD, and we have some news on INMD. INMD closed at $87.44. I don't have anything. It's the same price in after hours if it's trading here in after hours. But the point that we want to bring to your attention is that tomorrow, before the market opens, INMD will be reporting their third quarter earnings. And as we go here, the consensus of the earnings will be 50 cents, which would be down year over year. But the consensus for the revenue estimate is 89.38 million, which is a gain in revenues of almost 50% year over year. INMD shares have risen more than 8% in reaction to raising its full-year top-line guidance, which it did both in the second and for the third quarter, and predicted a record revenue in the third quarter earlier this month when they had their preliminary earnings. Over the last 2 years, INMD has beaten their earnings per share estimates 88% of the time and beaten the revenue estimates 100% of the time. Over the last 3 months, earnings per share estimates have been revised upward 5 times, not down, and revenue estimates have seen 4 upward revisions and 0 down. And the company shares have skyrocketed over 250% year to date, as well as they have also done a 2-for-1 split. So INMD, as I say, is not for nothing that it's one of my favorite stocks. It has continued to beat. It has done a 2-for-1 split. It has a global market that is continuing to grow. I would not be surprised if INMD beat in the morning. We will know. I bought a little bit more this afternoon, just near the end of the trading day. So that's what's going on with INMD, and we'll probably talk about what they have. Now, of course, at some point here, we're going to be getting earnings per share also from Humbl. Humbl, at least today, which of course we've been struggling of late, but Humbl did come back strongly today on about average volume. And we have, as you can see, up almost a nickel, 4.86 cents, a gain of 7.75. Of course, it had been down earlier in the day to almost 61 cents. That was really just getting ridiculously low. And so here's a 5-day chart. We got the 1-month chart. So it's not like Not like I'm bragging that we're at 67 cents. It just, at least for today, it reversed course. As I have said so many times, I think there are things going on in Humbl that are positive. We see this news here. Humbl and Block announces strategic collaboration, which came out the other day. And there's something when we talk about selling NFTs, there's a term that it kind of kills me, because people seem to go out of their way to make up terms which do not fall lightly on the ear. So they're talking about gas prices, and they don't mean gasoline. They're manufacturing this term for the sale of NFTs when you're paying with cryptocurrencies, whether it's Ethereum or something else. I would call it a transactional fee. And so with Humbl, with doing this collaboration with another company that also involves Brian Foote, what they're looking to do is to bring down the transaction fees. I'm going to call it transaction fees. People say gas fees. This is why I don't like to use jargon, because it just makes something that should easily be understood confusing and sound like it's hard to understand. So that's basically it. They're passing along the cost of doing the transactions. And so that's that. Now, what else? We have talked before about with inflation. Inflation continues to be a growing concern. You can short the 20-year treasuries with the TTT. I don't know why I have this thing mislabeled. Okay, so this is the FNGU, which is also up today. But let me go to what I was talking about and take a look there. Yeah, we got TTD. Come on. Okay, so that was up slightly today, and it is at $35 a share. I'm not pounding the table on this, folks. I'm more bringing this to your attention of how you could possibly make some money if we had this inflation come along. And as I've said before, I hope I'm wrong. You can see the volatility here. This is a 1-month chart. And it's kind of like a drunken sailor going down the road, swinging from one end to the next. So, you know, look at this chart. Let's go to a 6-month here. It's probably not going to be as pronounced on the 6-month. Yeah, not as much. So the concerns of inflation are more pronounced here. If you want to steer clear of TTT, fine by me. Everything's fine by me if you want to. It's your decision. It's your money. But this is one way that you could possibly play the inflation game and make some money if inflation starts to get out of hand. So we look briefly here again at Facebook, now up over $12 in after hours. That has been quite a star for a long time, and you can see the 1-year and the 5-year. And let me lean in here and see. So if we go back to November of 2019, yeah, I need to get a magnifying glass because, again, the software always makes this chart a lot smaller, even though when you're looking at it, it's easier to read. So that was $110, I think that is. Let's see. Back in the day. Anyway, sorry for the delay. So we'll take a look at what INMD is doing. We see what Humbl is doing. What I said about Humbl, you got that deal, you got some other deal. We're going to be getting the third quarter on Humbl. Coming up this October 25, we're going to get that. I'm going to guess that we will get that third quarter earnings coming out for Humbl around somewhere around maybe the 14th of November. So 2-3 weeks, somewhere in that area. So that's what I have for you tonight, folks. If you want to make a comment, let me know to what extent if you all have taken a position in INMD. I'd be interested if you have, or if you haven't. also, with some of these different places like Schwab, you can buy fractional shares. So that's another way. If INMD is too high price for you, it did that split, so it's now down to $87 from where it was before, which was closer to 200. And then, folks, if you want to write me, there you go at moneyandpoliticsnow@gmail.com. Also, we have coming up before too long ZYXI. We will have their earnings coming out. ZYXI. I think, of course, let me bring that up. ZYXI. I've interviewed the CEO, Mr. Thomas Sangard, and this is on Zynex. And it has come up from its low of $10, which I mentioned a while back, but I think the first time I mentioned this company, it was at about $16. So it's been in a trading range, but again, this is where they've added a lot of salespeople, and they're anticipating revenues going to go up. Their earnings have been somewhat stagnant. You can see here, if I can get myself out of the way, you can see the growth in the earnings, but how the revenues have gone up, I should say. The earnings have been stagnant. So the revenues are way up. We'll have to see when their earnings come out, and I think their earnings also will be coming out for the third quarter before too long. So that's another one to keep an eye on. Relatively inexpensive just from a dollar standpoint. You see in the lower left here, it's considered to be at fair value range. This could be a company that would deliver an earning surprise, and I think that's quite possible going forward. So I wanted to mention that. Well, I think we've covered all the bases for tonight. We're getting the sun coming out now outside, which is good. It's been slate gray all day long. Folks, we'll have more for you tomorrow on INMD. We'll have more for you tomorrow on Humbl and the rest of the markets. Big day, world-class sales on or earnings. I'm talking past myself. Record day for the Dow and the S&P 500 is what I was trying to say. And one last thing I knew I had on my mind, I wanted to check, because the NASDAQ, the tech stocks have been doing so well. I wanted to quickly check, and let's see what we did on TQQ. This is the 3-time leveraged on the NASDAQ market. Up to 145 and up to 146.7 in after hours. And that has been also, it's always been one of my great investments. I was telling this again, you're going to get over time a lot more volatility, but you're also going to get a lot more bang for your buck. This is a long-term money. Don't go in thinking you're going to be trading this. I wouldn't. The irony is people say this is a short-term hold. I would say this is where you should put some money and let it ride. You know, whether you buy 1 share or 1,000 shares, it's up to you. But I would put some money in and let that ride. TQQ is up over about 1,200%, 1,200% over the last 5 years. So blew away the other indices. Again, that's a leveraged version of the NASDAQ. So that's it for now, folks. I'll say good night. Have a great day. Hope you had a great weekend, and we will catch you tomorrow.